Hey guys, and welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
I'm Larry the Intern. Today we're going to take a look at Holmes and Moriarty from Escape Velocity Games. So this game is all about Sherlock Holmes. His sensing Moriarty is unleashing evil on London, but can he stop him in time? I love Sherlock Holmes, Will. This game is so exciting to me.
This game is a two-player card game that has players matching their wits against each other as they take on the roles of these two arch-nemesis. Holmes and Moriarty is an asymmetrical drafting card game that takes place over the series of 5 hands. Players try to win cases by drafting crimes and clues.
To set up the game, lay 3 case cards face up to represent cases 1, 2, and 3. Players will then play 2 case cards from their hand onto their side of the row face down, one in the crime row and one in the clue row. Then they will switch hands and repeat the process. The last card will be discarded and then each crime will be resolved.
For each case, whichever crime card is higher will determine the trump for the row, and then whichever clue card is higher will, considering the trump, win the case.
If Moriarty wins, he will place a token on the board corresponding to his crime card.
And if Holmes wins, he will place a token based on his clue card.
After each round, a new set of cases will come out, and if at any time during the game Moriarty can score 3 in a row, he wins the game.
But if Holmes can stop him or make it to the end of 5 rounds, then he wins. So we're talking about a really slick little card game that has 2 players trying to duke it out basically in a card game where you're playing the higher card, but on top of all that is the drafting, so you kind of know what is in the other guy's hand, and you're trying to build this little tic-tac-toe puzzle on the side in order to ultimately win the game.
I love Sherlock Holmes, one of my favorite characters. I've read many of the stories, so this game really does a great job of trying to get in the other person's mind, trying to plan out, okay, if I play these cards here, then I win this spot, but I need these other cards for later on. And plus, I know, okay, I'm giving Will these cards, so when it comes around to my other turn, that I know which cards I have to play. I know, complicated, but I love that stuff. Really enjoyed that aspect of this game.
Yeah, it is very thinky, which is great. I enjoyed the elements to the game. The artwork is a little bit straightforward. It's not amazing, but it's really cool that you're playing inside the box. You've got cool tokens. The cards they've got some really cool stuff on them. They've got all the Baker Street and like location names, which kind of pulls you into the theme in a really good way.
I loved how they really brought in some of the main characters and placed them in the higher value cards. Also, one aspect of the game is you place out your cards, and after both players have laid out all the case cards and all the crime cards, you can rearrange the case cards, which also plays into the, okay, if I win this one, then it affects that one, and how do I give? Love all of that. It is fantastic in my mind.
There's also some additional text on some of the cards. When you're playing the cases, if Holmes solves a case that has his guy as the case at the top, he gets to place bonus tiles, which is really awesome. Same goes for Moriarty. If he wins a majority of them, then Holmes has to place a tile for him. So there's just a lot of that going on. And then, as I was starting to say, the text that's on those Moriarty cards is really interesting because it changes up how you play the cards in your hand. It might give higher value to a specific location card, or it might say like the lowest card wins, which is interesting. On top of all that, they also have this card order value thing going on. I don't remember what it's called, but the top...
The wraparound. It's
the wraparound.
Yeah!
Okay. Where like a 2 is higher than a 1 and a 15 and a 16 and a 14, and a 1 is higher than a 16, 15, 14. So that can play with your mind too, as you're like, okay, I know I handed him a 16. If he plays it and I play this 1, I can beat him, but if 1 loses to everything else, oh.
Long story short, this game is made for people who enjoy counting cards, remembering stuff, smart people, and I would recommend playing the Moriarty side. The dumb people who don't really know how to count can play the... Sure. Oh, is that you? Oh, that's... my bad.
Where's that fish?
What fish? Anyway, so you really get to enjoy the aspect of trying to stop Moriarty without really considering strategy as much. As you can tell, I played the Moriarty side because I love that aspect of this game.
What he's saying is true, though. The game is really cool in the way that it could be built for kind of two different types of people. When you're playing Holmes, you don't really have to be real specific about where those pieces go. Thankfully, you're just trying to get them out on the board and stop, win as many hands as you can. Really, really interesting stuff. If it sounds like something you'd be interested in, definitely check out Holmes and Moriarty from Escape Velocity Games. I was also going to throw in, we just reviewed the game Caper, which has a pretty similar mechanic and theme. I was kind of surprised about it. In all truth, I actually liked the streamline of Holmes and Moriarty a little bit more. I like the art of Caper more. So pick your fave and go from there. And I'm still going to throw this chicken.
Are you looking at the...
Ow! Tune in next time for more great reviews, and we will look forward to seeing you again. Did you have the fish the whole time?
The whole time. I was trying to keep it from.
We couldn't have scripted this. It was too good. That's hilarious.
Perfect. Yeah, it was totally off the cuff. That's good.
Matching each other's wits as they try to do stuff.
Do some stuff. Yep.